Harlan Coben has found a great home in Netflix for his mystery adaptations. First we had The Five, then Safe, followed by The Stranger, and finally now we have The Woods. Is this murder mystery worth your time? In 1994, at a summer camp, 4 teenagers go missing, and 2 end up murdered. Flash forward to present day, where some of the kids from camp, now adults, restart the inquiry when a dead body turns up, and it's suspected that it was one of the missing kids. This Polish drama flashes back from 1994 to present day quite often, in an effort to help build the story not only from what had happened, but to reintroduce us to some of the characters now. There are 2 main players in this, Pavel and Laura, and they had a summer romance at the camp. Now Pavel is a prosecutor and Laura is a professor. We learn they haven't kept in contact, but through the course of some actions and some circumstances, they do connect. Now Pavel's sister is one of those that went missing at the camp, but she's not one of the ones that turned up dead, so she's still missing. And Pavel holds out hope throughout his entire life that she is still alive. And then when a body turns up with some unusual circumstances and some ties to Pavel, he's certain it was one of those that was missing. But there's conflict in that as well, which leads to a lot of doubt whether or not this person whose body was recovered is actually one of the missing. There are really 2 cases going on in this mystery show. One is obviously the 1994 mystery of what happened not only to the 2 murdered teenagers, but then where did the other 2 go? What happened to them as well? Were they involved? Did they disappear? Who knows? But then also we have in present day an assault case that Pavel as a prosecutor is working on. Now I would say that the present day case is unnecessary, but it does go to illustrate a theme that plays throughout the show. If it were not for that, the modern day case probably would have been more of a distraction than anything. Luckily, it doesn't take up too much of the screen time. I mean, it's going on in the background, and I would like to explain what that theme is, but then that really reveals most of the mystery that's going on. I do love the flashbacks as they go back, and what they do is they just eke out little bits of information as we go. The mystery, the intrigue, it constantly builds. And I was guessing along the way. I mean, even with the clues that I have, the things that I'm trying to piece together, I loved that I was wrong right up until the end. When they do the reveal, I was shocked. That's not what I had suspected and not what I had thought had happened. So kudos to them for being able to maintain a mystery like that. Now maybe you'll figure it out, and who knows what that will do to your overall feeling of the story, but I enjoyed that I wasn't able to figure it out. Now, this is a quick watch. It's only 6 episodes, and each of them are just about under an hour. So it's not going to kill a lot of your time, but it does move quickly. I mean, the intrigue, the mystery, that's what sucked me in. And then the characters too. I really liked them. I liked all of the interactions, not only the chemistry between our 2 leads of Pavel and Laura, both young and old, but also some of the other players that come into play, their parents and the dynamics between that. It adds a lot of fun and a lot of mystery and just a lot of misdirection too as to what's going on. One thing that I did find a little odd though is with the older version of Pavel, he has this almost constant amused look to his face. Whether he's being sad or angry or frustrated, he has kind of a smirk to his mouth. And I don't think that's intentional. I don't think that was actually part of the character. I think maybe that's just the actor himself. And it doesn't take you out of it. It doesn't break the tension or the suspense or anything else as you're watching him. But it was just a tiny bit odd because sometimes where it looks like he should be really sad, the scene is calling for him to be sad, and he's saying that he's sad or his tears are welling up, he still has that little bit of a smirk. And so you're like, do you know something I don't know? Or do you have a condition that just makes you laugh? But he didn't laugh. And so it was odd to me, but you chalk it up to, well, maybe that's just the actor himself and we move on. The soundtrack is a lot of fun too. It's got American and Britpop songs that were popular in the early 90s. And so it's just, at least for me, it was fun to reminisce. It was fun to hear those songs and I could instantly start singing along again. Now, a lot of them were the one-hit wonders, or you're just like, oh gosh, do I really know all the words to the song? Yeah, I do. Oh well, here we go, let's sing. I've got to say the scenery in this is pretty too, especially when it takes place in the forest or the woods, the name of the show, because you just get to feel the isolation, you get to feel the size and the scope of this area, especially as they search for the missing people. where in the world could they be? I mean, it's massive. And so you really get to feel how small and minuscule you would be and how easy it would be to miss a clue. I do think, though, the show could have used with some more consistent color correction, where we have some of the images and some of the scenes that are very flat in color, and then a lot of the others are rich in contrast and their vibrancy. And so it was inconsistent and it was uneven, and I would have preferred them to just have a uniform look throughout the entire show. I love it when a film ends and there's some interpretation that is left up to us as the audience. But in a mystery, I typically like more resolution to the ending. I want to get some solid answers in more of a concrete fashion. So honestly, I was a bit frustrated at the end of this show. It ends without any kind of solid confirmation. So when the screen went black, I was literally just there with my mouth agape staring at the screen, waiting for them to revisit to say, oh, just kidding, here's actually the answer. And they didn't give that. And so that did frustrate me a little bit. Am I pretty sure what the answer was? Yes, I'm quite certain, but it's not concrete. And it may not have been what I thought it was. And when I've invested 6 hours into something that is a mystery that has caused me to doubt myself, caused me to question things, and caused me to chase down clues, I want an answer. And I want it to be solid, and I want them to say, hey, good job, or hey, moron, you missed it. Here's the true answer. This is what really is going on. But as it stands, I sit in my frustration. Did it ruin the overall feeling of the show? No, but it did hinder it a little bit. I mean, as it ended, I was kind of let down. I don't think this is Harlan Coben's strongest entry in his Netflix adaptations, but I did have fun with the mystery part, and I really enjoyed the characters. I liked their chemistry, and I liked just what they brought to the story. And the portions of the modern case, while having a purpose, really did feel a tiny bit long and a little bit more of a distraction than anything. What that did is at times it broke me out of the intrigue a little bit. There is sex, nudity, profanity, and violence. I give The Woods 3.5 out of 5 couches. What's a good mystery that you're watching? Anything that you can recommend in the comments below? If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.